Hi, friends. Um, Another video experiment here. I'm on the edge. That's how it feels. I've been having another series of days that are heavy. I feel like just as I was getting out from under the 1028 energy package, that the 1111 one came along and knocked my feet out from under me. I'm not standing up yet, but I'm sitting up. And this is no complaint. I don't care how hard it is. Let's get this done, right? Besides, hard, come on, that's a perspective. That's just a way of looking at things, and it's certainly not the only one. If I am all that is, then I have open access to all possible perspectives, and I can choose among them to suit myself. So why shouldn't I make myself happy, huh? Why not? Why not choose my joy? Okay. Things seem to be coming together, but the threads are so diverse and spaced out and at odd angles to one another that there's nothing yet that clicks very much. I'm taking the hint, which is more than that, this thing of I'm birthing myself, and I'm pondering it, and I'm wondering why it should come with such pain and what that means. I don't know. This desire that came out of nowhere to, it might be the closest I've come to expressing from the real feeling stance, the real experience of it. Such an intensity to be immersed in divine love. And I'm loving Dimitri Halley's work. And Elaheh Roozdar as well. I've added these two to Muji and the rest as places that I go to get energetic support. Now, on the one hand, this is great because I do get a boost, not just from their words, certainly, but from the energy of these self-realized people. And so that comes through, and I find it strengthening. It doesn't unlock any doors for me, but it enables me to do that for myself. And so I do. At the same time, I'm watching myself go outside of the self, looking for something. And there's a part of me that knows that's just purely crazy, that at some point it has to stop. And it's funny and not so funny how we can't will it so. I mean, if by the exertion of mere will, oh, I keep forgetting to turn off the internet. If by the exertion of will alone would accomplish something, a lot more would have been accomplished in the world by now. It's not just that. Sometimes the child has a temper tantrum over wanting something that would be clearly dangerous. And so, let the temper go on, the tantrum. That's will. That's exerting will to the utmost extreme, trying to change outer reality. And it's just about as useful in you and I, really. And maybe it's like the thing with the child, where for the most part, about most things, the parents know best. And so the child is given what the child is ready for. So we have to come to that point of readiness, is what I sense. It's not that the world is fighting us. If there's any fighting going on, we're fighting the self. We're separating ourselves out into bits, parts, and pieces, and then forgetting to put them back together again. It reminds me of a story told in my family when my father was a child. He used to like to take things apart and put them back together again. He wound up being an engineer, so that was a very real drive in him. And most times he got away with it just fine. But there was one time when he took the cuckoo clock apart and he put it together again all right, with only one problem. The time face on it was upside down. So the 6 was at 12 and the 12 was at 6. Busted. Oh my God. Life's a lot friendlier than we make it out to be. Somehow we've gotten under some kind of a spell where we think everything's bad and terrible and we're the victim in the midst of all of this. And it's hooey. It really is. It's hooey and nonsense. But no one's going to come along and tell us that and fix that for us. Somehow each one of us has to look within and come to their own, I don't know what. I don't know what. I mean, why am I so crazy? Why do I do the things I do? I don't know. I don't know. What's it all for? What's it about? What does it benefit that we feel like we're separated from our source, from our higher self? At this point, I have to say, there's a part of me that knows that that's just not, it's not real. It's not so. We cannot be separate from the self. It's ridiculous, oxymoronic. And yet, it has the same kind of reality that the wall has that seems to stop you from walking through it. Neither one of these is real. We are not separate. And this love that I yearn for, that was one of the most real experiences I've ever had. And yet, I am this love. And there are times when in heart, as I say, I water my face and my shirt with the joy and the flowingness of the direct experience of love and loving. I don't know. It seems disjointed. It seems incomplete. Maybe the winner is the one who can look at the seaming and stick the tongue out and say, nah, I'm not believing in you. I'm not choosing to believe that anymore. So, for myself, for one anyway, I'm setting out now to believe that I am complete and that I am that love and everything else that I seek, that I am that already. Let's see how that will change the world. We bind ourselves terribly with our thoughts, our words, and our beliefs. I have a number of journals written, a couple of them just on, 3 of them now, on use of words and how we reinforce unreality. Silence is best. I think I'll turn to Rumi for a while. If I've got to be a watering pot, if that's what's necessary, I'm going to go for it. Whatever it takes to find that internal readiness. I just feel ready. How about you? Ready and somewhat impatient, but that might be, instead of impatience, that might be a measure of intensity behind the desire to be, just to be the fullness of all that I am, and to have the fullness of the experience of that. It's one thing to know you are that, it's another thing to have the full experience of it, to stand in the radiance and be aware. And to know that when that comes, it'll bring the mind along as well. There'll be a new clarity there. Things will be clear. And they'll make sense on such a higher level. I doubt any of these things will ever truly make sense to the mind, to the 3D mind. But that's okay, it doesn't matter. Certain things we're not carrying with us. Certain things we use. It's like you take the ferry boat to the other side, but then you don't take the boat with you. It just, something's useful, and when it's not, and we go on. So learning to let go and let go and let go is such a big part of the trip. Well, I don't know that there's any value here, but chances are good. You'll be seeing it anyway. I'll go ahead and upload it. I'm just so aware of us all doing this together. It becomes more and more plain, more clear, how in our own way we're all going through the same thing. We're all being delivered the same energy. And the unique ways that we have of working through it. It's such a wonderful community we have on the internet to share it all. YouTube is great. That's where we have the interaction. I don't advertise my iTunes podcast anymore because there's no interaction back and forth. I've never received a comment or anything from it. Or if I did, I don't know how to find them. And that's okay. I don't need to. We shine. We don't put out in order to get back. We don't upload in order to receive. It's just a matter of we shine. And there's an intensity to it that requires that it be shared. And it's that simple. There's no need for anything in return, on the one hand. On the other hand, reading and responding to your comments is also a lot of fun. Good day.